custom. Yes, our theme park that we are creating here on the Ashbrook Cricket Ground is going to be full of fairground rides, which you've seen a couple of already. But today we're going to be adding some more, and we're going to be starting off with the Dodgems here, or if you're in America, the bumper cars. And we're going to try and make them look like they are a mobile ride rather than something that's a permanent fixture. The bases on these flat rides are a little bit big and a little bit hard to customize. So what we're going to start here, we're starting with these lovely diamond plate flooring. To create the ramps and the platform around your bumper cars. So our episode today is all about customing. So we're customing in these Dodgems, and in a minute you'll be seeing a couple of fully fledged window creations, completely custom rides from scratch that won't work for guests, but I think are a valuable addition to a travelling fun fair. We'll see them in a minute. First off, let's support this platform that our Dodgems are sitting on. And put down the metal bar fences just so that our guests don't fall off. You know what I said about bumper cars and Dodgems, and the Americans calling them bumper cars? Well, did you know that Dodgems originally were created in the 1920s by an American company who called them Dodgems? So the Americans have then gone back on themselves and changed it down the line. We've just kept the original term in the UK. Anyway, back to building. Job done. Change the colour scheme up a little bit green for me. So we're taking all the green out and we've gone for some reds and purples. Right, time for our next ride. And this is going to be a completely custom ride. See if you can guess what it is. Building our podium again here. Lots of supports and metal walkways to create this podium. We're nearly there. Fabulous. One more set of beams here, and then our platform will be complete. And now it's time to see what's going to go on top of it. Oh, maybe not. No, we've got some more supporting to do. My bad. Taking the WTV colours here. Give some character to our ride. Still making more additions to the platform. Now we're going to start the ride itself. I think this is pretty much one of the only rides You would never, ever in a million years catch me riding. But these are a staple of pretty much any funfair park. Time for some more supports now. Hold this up. It's quite a large metal structure. Must be supported. See, just having to play around with the angles slightly on these supports. It came out alright in the end. So we can't have concrete bases. We'll have to have these pads on the floor. As this is, remember, a ride that should be able to be transferred to other places around. There you go. Fabulous. A little bit more dressing of the platform to hide some of the inner workings underneath. Shoes with black panels here. And now it's time to make the centre of our ride the area where our guests embark. We are making a bungee ball if you haven't worked it out yet. Absolutely horrendous looking ride that you find at theme parks, normally travelling theme parks, travelling fun fairs. And as I said before, you wouldn't catch me on one of these. Not on your Nelly. I love extreme rides, I love white knuckles, I love roller coasters and all kinds of scary stuff, but this, nah. Being launched hundreds of meters in the air in a metal ball, only attached by a bit of string. No, not happening. Got to dress this up a little bit more. Put some safety barriers in. Beautiful. Right, time to make the seats and harnesses that our guests will sit in when they go inside the bungee ball. Using basic shapes here. Quite pleased with how these seats came out in the end. here you go. We've got our restraints, over the shoulder restraints. Trying to get them on the right angle. It's a little bit of a faff. Look at that. Quite happy with how this came out, to be honest. Now it's time for all of the motors. Don't really know how one of these works. I assume though that I'm making something that is semi-realistic. The bungee cords obviously have to be we have to create some tension in them. So I was thinking maybe like a winch system here to pull them tighter and tighter and tighter would make sense. And then maybe the ball is sitting there on a magnet. And then as soon as the bungee cords are tight enough, the magnet's released and the ball shoots up in the air. That was my thinking behind a bungee ball. I don't know. Maybe I got it all wrong. I think it looks realistic. Let me know what you think in the comments. Right, it's time now to move on to some more custom rides. Again, another staple of any travelling theme park. We're going to have ourselves some bouncy castles, or bouncy castle-esque rides, inflatables. And we're going to make, first off here, an inflatable slide. Using the beach lilos, pool floats, I think they call them in here. This was a little bit of a faff, these inflatables, to be honest. I do think they came out all right in the end. I may never make them inflatable again, simply because it was... Well, it wasn't the most enjoyable. I loved making my bungee ball, or my trampolines last week. But I do think they came out well in the end. As you can see, it was a lot of faffing, this was. Nearly there, we've got the shape going on now. We've got two steep slides and then we've got a little bit more shallow slides for those people who are a little more timid. Lots and lots and lots of basic shapes brought this to life. And I think overall they did quite a good job. We're going to use some of the boatyard netting now for safety at the top. We don't want any kids falling off the side. Perfect. few last finishing touches on the bouncy slide, and then we will move on to our second inflatable. And our last big build of this this episode. Winder, riff. So this second bouncy castle is going to be more like a bouncy obstacle course. My kids love going in these. Again, going to local fairs, sky trampolines, bouncy castles. Money, 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 money. Dad, 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 dad. You know how it goes. I do think these inflatables came out quite well though. Lots of bright, vibrant colours for our inflatables. Time to put some more supports in now. Hold up all of those uprights. Beautiful. More of our boatyard netting. Works really, really well. I got a feeling that this mini-series for our travelling theme park, our travelling fun fair, is going to be very mini. The more I look at it, I don't think we've got many more episodes until our fairground is complete. What are we on? Episode 2 now of this new second phase of building. I got a feeling you're going to get maybe one more, maybe 2 at a push before we finish off with some nice cinematic videos. And then building at Ashbrook will cease until the new year. I have another couple of projects on at the moment. So this fairground will probably be the last you see of Ashbrook until 2026. Which is crazy. How fast has this year gone? I had a lot of fun making all these little silly obstacles on this bouncy inflatable obstacle course, using just your basic shapes. To build this ride. All of the creations here at Ashbrook will be going on the workshop, as will Ashbrook itself at the end of this mini-series. So I will put Ashbrook on in both states, with and without the fairground, so that you can have a look at it and maybe use the scenario to start building your own parks. And we'll share those workshop links with you in the coming weeks. As you can see, a lot of faffing around here with basic shapes, a lot of columns and pillars and bits and bobs going on to try and fill this up and make this look as realistic as possible. I tried like a little spiderweb kind of design here where our guests could try and climb through the gaps and the holes so they could get to the next area. Nearly finished on our inflatable, and then it'll be time for our final build of this episode. I quite quickly realised, oh, you got all these lovely rides and things going on, but what happens if a guest needs to go to the toilet? They can't just run off into the bushes. So we'll make it some portaloos. Thought this would be a really lovely way to finish off the episode, watching me build a toilet. They're a bit tall, so I shrunk them down, which worked really well, until I've remembered that these needed to be working toilets, because I will be opening this park soon. And then I was like, yeah, the silly toilet blocks, in-game toilet blocks, don't fit. So we had to make the portaloos tall again. Really, really tall. Really comically tall. But yes, they came out alright in the end, I think. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I'll see you again next Sunday for another one, but in the meantime, enjoy some cinematics. I've been Winder, this has been WTV. I'll catch you on the flip. Bye-bye.